Hi guys, today we're going to show you an amazing stretch for your neck, okay? So if we're looking at the back of someone's head, the entire skull is attached to the first vertebra and other vertebrae as well, but we're going to be working with this articulation between the skull and the first vertebra. There's a lot of ligaments involved with this. Ligaments go from bone to bone. Whether you had a tailbone injury or some type of injury in the past, or you just basically the gravity stress, what we want to do is we want to separate this out a little bit and do a stretch to increase the space between the skull and the first vertebra. And because this vertebra is round, we're going to be stretching at different angles. I'm going to walk you through it. So if we're out here, we'll start right here, and we'll stretch it going this way, and then here like this. I'll walk you through it. All we're trying to do is create a little space in there. The back part of the skull is called the occiput. This first vertebra is called the first cervical vertebra C1. And we're just stretching this articulation right here. It's going to make you feel really, really good. You need someone to do this on you. I would find someone to watch the video, and then you can practice back and forth on each other. It does take a little time. A couple little points is when you put your thumb and you're stretching, sometimes people don't have the wideness of the thumb that you might need. So you're going to have to maybe use part of your hand to do this, or go gentle because you have your hairline right here and you don't want to stretch that. But I'll walk you through it. All right, check this out. So here we have a skull, and the skull sits on just one vertebra right through here. It's C1, cervical vertebra, okay? So you can see there's these little kind of spaces right here that this part sits on, and it rotates. 90% of the motion happens in the first vertebra, okay? So if we basically put this back through here, you can see that what we're going to do is we're going to stretch the ligaments between this first vertebra and the back of this skull bone right here. This is called the occiput. So it's an occiput C1 first cervical stretch, and there's a bunch of ligaments. Ligaments go from bone to bone, okay? Tendons go from muscle to bone. So we're going to stretch the ligaments, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to take our hand up underneath right through here, and we're going to stretch towards this way, because it kind of got this entire skull that is resting on a focal point right here. We want to just stretch it this way, okay? So we're going to be stretching it this way, and we come up underneath, and we're going to lift up. Now my hands are going to be tucked in right here. I'm going to lift up. Make sure that you don't pull their hair, and you want to take a broad contact. So you might want to use your whole thumb right here, and you come right up, and you're going to take this hand to help you go forward. I'm exaggerating here. We're going to stretch this way here. And we'll do that 3 or 4 times, okay? And then I'll kind of slowly inch over here and kind of come up. But you could even do it like this. And I'll show you on an actual person too. We're just stretching up this way. And all we have to do is create a space in this area. And the person is going to feel a lot of relief. Okay, and now we're just going to come straight here and lift up. Okay. You can even use your fingers and just do this right here. But my elbows are nice and tucked, and I'm using all my leverage. My arms are out like this, okay? And you can come over here and do this as well. Okay, just stretching that head and tucking it down. This is the angle. So the angle is like this, okay? Or you can come over here and take my hand here and just use the opposite side. We're going to come here and just kind of come up. Come here. If you can practice this and get this down, you can create a tremendous amount of relief for someone. They're going to sleep better. They're going to breathe better. They're going to feel a lot less stress. It's going to make them feel taller. This is great from someone that had an injury, from a tailbone injury, because the force travels all the way up and gets jammed right here. So there's a lot of reasons to do this. The only thing is, if they were involved in a car accident and they had a front end collision, the first motion is forward, right? Because the car stops fast. It's going to tear these right here. So if they had this injury and then you start stretching in that direction, it's going to make it worse, so they're not going to feel too good. So that would be the only time I wouldn't do this, in which case we do the opposite stretch. We go back this way. Okay, back. Don't go forward. So you'll know real quick. They're going to go, oh, that doesn't feel too good. Good. Then you go back. Boom, problem solved. All right, now let's show you on an actual person. Okay, this is how you do it. Okay, we got the skull sitting on like a little dish right in there, and it kind of rotates all around like this. It's sitting on the first vertebra, and what we're going to do is we're going to create a space between the skull, the bottom of the skull that's called the occiput, and the first bone. So we're going to stretch this. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to take your thumb, okay, right up underneath the occiput. So if we look at us here, we'll take the thumb right here, and it's a little tricky because you have to kind of hook it up right underneath that occiput, that ridge there. So we're going to take this, and we're going to be kind of coming down at this angle first, okay? What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to lift up, and flex forward. Now what's happening, you have to be careful because when you do that, it pulls his hair. So I'm cautious about pulling his hair. I'm doing it very gingerly here. And I'm taking this opposite hand, putting it over the skull to stabilize this force right through here, okay? So we take this and we're going to lift up and forward, okay? So we're going to flex it up and forward this way. And I'm pulling up with the head. So look at my elbow right here. It's tucked in my body right through here. So I'm like right here. Look at me. I'm not out here because I used to do this all day long and it's labor intensive. So I got to use my biomechanics correctly. So I'm going to lift up and stretch.
And by the way, it feels terrific.
Does that feel good?
Oh, yeah.
And I'm also helping with this hand, kind of tilting his head forward because I'm trying to just take this motion right here while I lift up. So it does require a little practice. So we're going to lift it up right here, up underneath, without stretching the hair or irritating his hairline there. Okay. Now I'm going to inch a little more inland right through here or towards the midline. The angle is going to be, instead of right here, the angle is now right through here, lifting up this way. It helps to have big thumbs. You can see my thumb is real wide. Again, you got to be careful of messing up the hair. That's the most important thing.
What hair?
So I'm lifting up this way, and I'm flexing forward. So I'm tucking his chin down this way, okay, because I'm creating a stretch. Now I'm right in the center, and I'm going to go straight, flex forward this way.
By the way, audience, you can tell he's putting a lot of effort into it. There's a lot of strength going into it, but it feels terrific.
Yeah, this is a great stretch for sleep, for neck pain, for neck flexibility, for relaxation, stress reduction. A lot of people have a lot of tension. The only time you wouldn't want to do this is if you had someone involved in a car accident on a head-on collision because their neck went forward first and they tore all these ligaments. So the last thing you want to do is stretch it more into flexion. In that case, if it was a front-end collision, you'd want to stretch it back. Okay, just do the opposite. So if it hurts the person while you're doing this, then you know it's probably from that and just stop doing that. Okay, so we're here now. Now I can keep going around this way, but I like to use my middle finger right here. I'm not flipping you guys off, but my middle finger with support of my other fingers and just kind of start stretching this way. Now I'm stretching it this opposite angle this way. So I'm going to lift up and kind of come down here. You don't have to do it like that. You can use your thumb. You can even use the opposite side right here. And my thumb is underneath his occiput, stretching up and at the right angle. Now I'm over here and I'm coming this way. It's a subtle motion. Just all you're trying to do is just stretch it just a little bit. Sometimes if your thumb is too narrow, it can kind of be, you don't have the surface area. The surface area is actually less, so it might be more painful. So you have to kind of go a little lighter. So adjust it based on the person's tolerance. There we go. What does it feel like?
Oh, it's just great. A lot of strength goes into it, I can tell. That's not a subtle little move, but it just feels great.
Yeah, when you start working with the ligaments and tendons and you stretch that, your whole body is just going to feel really, really relaxed.
Oh, it's just great.
Your breathing will be better. And this is also really, really good if he fell on his tailbone, because the force travels from the tailbone all the way and it gets stuck right through in here. And this is where there's a lot of tension. All right.
Just a tremendous process. Thank you, Dr. Berg.
You're welcome. And for those of you, go ahead and try this. Put your comments down below. Tell me what you think. Hey, if you're liking this content, please subscribe now, and I will actually keep you updated on future videos.